a grave mistake and that you realized that you weren't responsible enough for owning a dog. In a study conducted by in 2012 by the American Pet Products Association determined approximately 47% of all households in the U.S. own at least one dog. As a dog trainer myself, I know the kind of training that gets involved in the dog, into a dog with raising it, and from my own experience of training my dog for 2 years now, and to getting him to where I wanted him. And I also know the specific types of breeds that better suit certain individuals when it comes to determining which dog fits into your lifestyle more better. By learning about picking and raising the right dog, you have a better understanding of what it means to properly care for that dog and make sure he has a healthy life. For the information I will be sharing with you first is picking the right breed of dog for you. Second, the training that goes into that dog from day one. And finally, ensuring he has a proper nutrition and diet to keep him healthy, to ensure he has many years of healthy life. First, I'll be talking about picking the right dog. When looking at breeds, the first thing you gotta ask yourself is, will it fit into my lifestyle? Will I have enough time to dedicate to this dog? Will I be able to take care of that dog for 10 to 12 years of his life? Will he suit my family? All these questions have to be taken into consideration when you're picking a dog, especially if you're not, especially lifestyle. That's the main factor, because you have to look at your lifestyle really carefully and determine if you are ready for a dog. Especially if you're like not a really active person, then a dog with tons of energy is not going to fit into your lifestyle, because he's going to be destroying everything in your house because he has all that energy in him. Once you've determined that you're ready for a dog, you have to do your research on certain types of breeds, because there's many breeds out there with with different personalities when it comes to energy, trainability, and smartness, intelligence. In an article by Rutgers University in the spring of 2012 on dog breeds stated, and I quote, "Dogs of the same breed do not necessarily behave the same. A dog's genetic background, however, plays a huge role in the dog's energy and ability to learn," end quote. So it's really important to determine which breed is going to fit you perfectly, because some dogs are easygoing and some dogs are more active. An example is English bulldogs. A lot of people like them because of the cute faces, but they have a lot of problems, especially because they're very lazy and they tend to gain a lot of weight, and they're very stubborn when it comes to training. Even I see many dogs English bulldogs that come in and they don't listen to their owners. They're very stubborn, but they're really couch potatoes. But the problem with them is that they have a lot of health issues. They tend to, because of the pushed-in faces, which is the most common being respiratory problems. They snore, and they can't be in hot conditions because they can suffocate, and so you need to they're mostly inside dogs. Then, now that you've determined which breed fits into your lifestyle, now I would like to talk about training from the beginning. So it's very important from day one that when you bring your dog that the trainer has to get involved in, especially house training, because that's the most important, because you don't want him peeing or doing his business all over the house. So making sure that from day one you have to have preparation, making baby gates or kennels. It's really up to you. If you want them outside or if you want them inside. If you want him inside, make sure to make a special corner in the house for him that you know that he's going to be in there for when you're not watching him or supervising him, especially with a crate. If you have him in a crate, then you don't really have to worry about if somebody's supervising him, or else or if he's destroying the house when you're not around. So it's very important to have that. And in an article by Pat Miller on puppy preparation in September 2005, he stated, and I quote, "A lack of crate or puppy pens from day one makes house training mistakes inevitable," end quote. So it's very important to have those in place before he gets home. And when he gets, and before he gets home, make sure to take him to a local vet that you know has good reviews, and get him a checkup so he can so you can make sure that dog has proper health care, and so he won't be sick when you get him. And so that's very important. And so once you establish the house rules with him, make sure to begin training with him, especially with basic obedience, showing him how to be on a leash, showing him heeling, sit, stay down, here, and all that is very important from the beginning, because also you have to make it a lot fun more fun for the dog, because I see a lot of people who come to where I work, and when they're trained, they're just walking the dog and no emotion, no feeling, and so we're always telling them, it's like, listen, play with the dog, praise him, give him energy so he can, because a lot of people, they just don't know, so we have to be constantly telling them, praise him, give him a treat, give him his favorite toy, make sure he has fun out of this experience, because that's really important, because when they're having fun, then they're going to want to do anything for you. Now that you know about training, now I want to talk about ensuring a proper diet. So ensuring a proper diet ensures that your dog has a healthy, long life. So what's very important is you have to look at the dog foods out there. Make sure to read the labels carefully, because a lot of dog foods out there are cheap and made poorly. Some of the ingredients include cornmeal, this is cheap alternative, and then there's meat byproducts. In an article by reachoutrescue.org on dog nutrition stated, and I quote, when you see beef, chicken, and poultry byproducts, these are not required to include actual meat. This meat includes dead and diseased animals, including cats and dogs euthanized by shelters. And most of these animals often have cancers, tumors, drugs, and flea and tick collars, and that goes into the dog food, which is basically feeding your dog rat poison slowly. So it's very important. So you have to also, you can't just feed so it's very important to look at the dog foods out there. Make sure that the first ingredient is meat, so it has a natural protein, but just don't depend on dry dog food, because just imagine yourself eating the same box of cereal for the rest of your life. Obviously you're not going to like it, so actually have more variety, giving them meat and like actual cooked meat, raw foods in his food. Now I'd like to finish things off by saying that now I hope you have a better understanding of what it means to raise and properly take care of a dog. And first I've discussed with you how to pick the right dog, how to train him, and how to properly feed him. And so I like to conclude by saying that dogs are like our family members, so let's make sure that they get the proper care that we would our own family members. Thank you.